Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by green hills and clear blue skies, there lived a curious boy named Timmy. Timmy loved to learn new things, and he spent hours reading books and watching videos on his tablet. He would often sit in his room, glued to the screen, learning about everything from dinosaurs to distant planets. One day, Timmy decided that he wanted to grow a beautiful garden in his backyard. He had read many books about gardening and watched countless videos about how to plant seeds, water them, and care for plants. Excited, he gathered all the seeds he could find and planted them in neat rows. Every day, he would water them just like he had seen in the videos, and he would check on them eagerly, waiting for the plants to grow. But after weeks of hard work, nothing seemed to be happening. The seeds didn't sprout, and the soil looked dry and lifeless. Timmy felt frustrated and disappointed. He couldn't understand why his garden wasn't growing, even though he had followed all the instructions he had learned. One afternoon, while sitting in his backyard feeling sad, Timmy noticed Mr. Olu, the old gardener who lived next door. Mr. Olu was known for having the most beautiful garden in the whole town. His garden was full of colorful flowers, tall trees, and delicious fruits and vegetables. People often admired his garden, and it was said that Mr. Olu had a special touch with plants. Timmy hesitated for a moment, then decided to go and talk to Mr. Olu. He walked over to the fence and called out, "Mr. Olu, can I ask you something?" Mr. Olu smiled and waved Timmy over. "Of course, Timmy. What's on your mind?" Timmy explained how he had read all the books and watched all the videos about gardening, but still couldn't get his garden to grow. "I don't know what I'm doing wrong," Timmy said, his voice full of frustration. Mr. Olu nodded thoughtfully and said, "Timmy, you've done a lot of learning on your own, and that's wonderful. But sometimes, a single conversation with someone who has experience can be worth more than a month's study of books." Mr. Olu invited Timmy to walk with him through his garden. As they walked, Mr. Olu began to share his wisdom. He showed Timmy how to check if the soil was the right type for the seeds he had planted and explained how different plants needed different amounts of sunlight and water. He pointed out the importance of timing and how the weather could affect the growth of plants. But the most important thing, Mr. Olu said, is patience. Plants take time to grow. Sometimes they need a little extra care, and sometimes you just need to wait and let nature take its course. Timmy listened carefully, realizing that the books and videos he had studied hadn't taught him these small but important details. Mr. Olu's experience and practical knowledge were like a treasure trove of information. Armed with this new wisdom, Timmy went back to his garden. He made sure the soil was right, adjusted the amount of water he gave his plants, and found the best spots in his yard for sunlight. He even started talking to his plants, just as Mr. Olu did, encouraging them to grow strong and healthy. A few weeks later, Timmy's garden began to bloom. Tiny green shoots peeked out of the soil, followed by bright flowers and leafy vegetables. Timmy was overjoyed. He realized that while books and videos were helpful, the advice and experience from Mr. Olu had made all the difference. Moral of the story: a single conversation with a wise person is worth a month's study of books. In our age of technology, it's easy to rely on the internet for information, but personal experience and wisdom from those who have lived it can be even more valuable. Sometimes, all you need is a good old conversation to learn something truly important.